What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video, we're going to be talking about the DC Comics character, Bronze Tiger. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this character in order to hold an intelligent conversation about him, and more right now. But first, if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post multiple videos throughout the week, plus live stream the Blerd Cave every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So hit that bell button, that way you don't miss anything. Also, if you enjoyed the video, Hulk smash that like button. With that out of the way, let's ponder the question: who is Bronze Tiger?
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Bronze Tiger, real name Benjamin Turner, first appeared in Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter #1 in 1975 and was created by Dennis O'Neil, Jim Barry, and Leo Duranona. Born in Central City, Ben Turner made his first kill at the age of 10 years old, trying to protect his parents from a robber. Using a carving knife, he stabbed the would-be robber and saved his parents. But what was more surprising to him is how good killing that robber made him feel. This led to him eventually recognizing he had a deep and unmitigated rage burning inside him, and at the age of 13, he turned to martial arts in hopes to tame that burning rage. He would, however, be wrong. This only made him crave more, and he would eventually fall in with some of the most dangerous and deadly martial arts characters in the DC Comics universe, characters like Richard Dragon, Lady Shiva, and his martial arts master, the O-Sensei. Interesting sidebar about Bronze Tiger's past is that despite debuting in 1975, we wouldn't actually learn the true origin of Ben Turner until 1990's Suicide Squad Volume 1, number 38. This would all come out while he was being grilled by Sergeant Steele over his actions in previous issues of the Suicide Squad. Bronze Tiger possesses no powers whatsoever, but is in peak human physical condition, the same physical condition that one would have if they engaged in high impact, high intensity, and incredibly extreme exercise routines on a regular basis. Bronze Tiger's bread and butter comes with his mastery of multiple martial arts combat styles. These include, but are not limited to, American boxing, Aikido, Hapkido, Jeet Kune Do, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Karate, Kung Fu, Muay Thai, Savate, Salat, Dragon-style Kung Fu, Vale Tudo, and Taekwondo. Not only that, but he's also a master of manipulating chi energy. He can use his chi manipulation abilities to enhance his concentration and focus. He can also use this to increase his ability to heal injuries and decrease how long it takes him to recover from those injuries. He's also able to use his chi channeling talent to track other people's chi. He's even skilled enough to teach others how to do the same things that he can. Bronze Tiger is also an accomplished master of stealth, spy tactics, reconnaissance, and even ninjutsu tactics. His mastery of hand-to-hand combat techniques have allowed him to defeat characters like Batman in hand-to-hand combat, and he is considered to be on equal footing with Richard Dragon and Lady Shiva in terms of combat prowess, with the Lady Shiva comparison being highly notable as she is considered the best fighter in all of DC Comics. Yes, even better than Batman. His costume has shifted dramatically over the years, from wearing no mask at all to wearing a simple tiger mask to sometimes even looking like an actual humanoid tiger thanks to a special talisman, because comic books. Though that had more to do with the New 52 as opposed to the DC Comics universe prior to the imprint getting a massive reboot. Since the New 52, he's gone back to wearing no mask at all. Bronze Tiger has the honor of making an appearance in the Marvel and DC's Amalgam universe, where he was depicted as the ruler of Wakanda. His name is also interesting in that it is changed to be T'Challa, similar to his first name and T'Challa's only name. Despite this, he did not have a book of his own, but did appear in Bullets and Bracelets #1 and Challengers of the Fantastic #1. This is even more interesting when you consider the fact that Black Panther debuted in Marvel Comics almost 10 years before Bronze Tiger. And with Bronze Tiger's moniker being, well, Bronze Tiger, it almost makes you wonder if he was supposed to be in some way, shape, form, or fashion a play off of Black Panther, albeit not a direct play off Black Panther the way some Marvel and DC Comics characters have been in the past as well as today, and who knows, very likely even in the future. While this has never actually been confirmed by anybody who has ever worked on either Black Panther or Bronze Tiger, I do think that it's interesting that they chose the name Bronze Tiger, which is eerily similar to the name that Black Panther almost received due to public outcry against the character Black Panther because of the actual real-life Black Panther Party, which formed roughly around the same time, if not a little bit before, the actual comic book character himself, and that name that he was originally supposed to be called was Coal Tiger. But that name was eventually dropped and the name Black Panther continued to be used, so it makes me wonder if someone at DC was like, oh, well, you know, maybe they were gonna make a Coal Tiger, let's make a Bronze Tiger. Like I said, not saying it's true or anything, but it is something interesting to think about. Though Bronze Tiger's first appearance in DC Comics was Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter #1 in 1975, it was not his first appearance overall. He was originally created by Dennis O'Neil and Jim Barry in the 1974 novel Dragon's Fist. He would later be brought over to DC Comics in 1975. The O-Sensei was not Ben's first true martial arts teacher. He was originally trained by Kirigi, the man who trained Bruce Wayne in the art of ninjutsu and is the pioneer of the vibrating palm technique, not to be confused with the vibrating thing in your mom's lightsaber drawer. He's also the man who originally trained Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins. Ben discontinued training with Kirigi because of his cruel nature and how he tried to harness Ben's rage for his own purposes. Ben would later go on to pass down his martial arts knowledge and tactics to David Kane and Lady Shiva's daughter, Cassandra Cain, who would go on to become Batgirl for a time and then later the Vigilante Orphan. An odd note about Bronze Tiger is that for a character who grew up in Central City, Bronze Tiger has had very few meaningful interactions with the Flash. Not that he would be a good matchup for the Flash, but it is something to muse about. Bronze Tiger initially started off as a morally ambiguous character who would later become an assassin for the League of Assassins. During his time with the League of Assassins, Ben was not in his right mind. His wife Miyoshi was murdered by the League and Ben himself was brainwashed. This would lead to Ben becoming the most feared assassin in the DC universe, as his skill was difficult to match. He would even be used as a weapon to kill the original Batwoman Kathy Kane, but ultimately she would fall to another assassin while Ben was busy throwing hands with Batman. The League would ultimately turn on Ben when his memories began coming back. This would lead to them excommunicating him and nearly killing him, but it would be Batman who would be the one to track down Ben's location in a hospital and save him from being assassinated by, well, the League of Assassins. This would merely be the beginning of Batman and Bronze Tiger's, quotey fingers, interesting partnership. Eventually, this would lead to Amanda Waller offering to help deprogram Ben Turner, and it would be both herself and Rick Flag who created an all-new version of the Suicide Squad and bring Bronze Tiger in as the first recruit for the team. He'd even serve as second in command. He would eventually even become the sole leader of the Suicide Squad, proving himself as a true field tactician and even earn the respect of his teammates, something that got him in trouble because he'd often disobey direct orders to save his expendable allies. Bronze Tiger's time with the Suicide Squad is probably one of the things people know him for the most, and during that time, Bronze Tiger became incredibly close with the character Rick Flag, and Flag in turn trusted Ben enough that he would even go as far as to say that he trusted Bronze Tiger with his own life. Ben would also become incredibly close to fellow Suicide Squad team member Vixen, developing a romantic relationship that would later be broken off off when Ben left the squad, but would resume when he later returned. But they'd ultimately part ways on good terms when Vixen eventually left the Suicide Squad altogether. He would also have an association with Suicide Squad character Flo Crawley, the younger cousin of Amanda Waller. We would later learn that she had feelings for Bronze Tiger, but those feelings were not returned. Bronze Tiger has appeared in a lot of media outside of comics. Many fans will remember his appearances on television in the Batman, the Brave and the Bold animated series episodes Return of the Fearsome Fangs and The Siege of Starro Part 2, where he is voiced by Gary Anthony Sturgis, and many will recognize Michael Jai White's portrayal of the character in CW's Arrow. He's also made a series of appearances in DC's animated films like Justice League Gods and Monsters, where he's an amalgamation of the Bronze Tiger and Cheetah characters and voiced by Arif S. Kinchin. He's also a field leader in the animated movie Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, where he's voiced by Billy Brown, and he's also a confidant of Batman in the animated film Batman Soul of the Dragon, where Michael Jai White returns to play the character once more. He's also featured in the animated web series Deathstroke Knights and Dragons, voiced by Delbert Hunt. He's also appeared in video games like Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, where he's once again voiced by Gary Anthony Sturgis, and Bronze Tiger is a playable character in both Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, where he's voiced by Ike Amati, and its spin-off Lego DC Supervillains, where he's voiced by Kane Jungbluth Murray. Now, normally when I do these videos, I like to pick an actor who I think could portray this character on the big or small screen. This is one of those instances where I'm going to cheat a little. I would just get Michael Jai White to continue portraying the character. He's already done a pretty good job on TV shows like CW's Arrow, and he's also done a pretty good job of reprising that role like he did in Batman Soul of the Dragon. Michael Jai White is a good actor. He's a guy who can go, and honestly, it's not like he's new to this type of work. Many of you are likely already familiar with him thanks to his roles in movies like Spawn, The Dark Knight, Black Dynamite, as well as his appearances in Mortal Kombat Legacy. Now let's get into some recommended reading. I would recommend that, of course, you start out with his first appearance, picking up Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter #1, and just ride that out all the way till you get to issue number 18. And while we're talking about Richard Dragon, I would also recommend you check out Chuck Dixon's Richard Dragon Volume 1 from 2004, where Bronze Tiger makes regular appearances in the first 11 issues of that 12-issue series. I would also recommend you check out Detective Comics number 485 and 489 if you want to witness a story I talked about earlier, where Bronze Tiger is used as a weapon to take down the original Batwoman, Kathy Kane. I also recommend you check out James Tinney IV's Red Hood and the Outlaws number 20 through 27, mostly because it'll give you a unique perspective on Bronze Tiger, just based on how weird and different he is in the New 52 at that point, not to mention it's his first appearance in the New 52. I also recommend you check out Deathstroke Volume 3 number 2 through 6 by Tony S. Daniel. And last but most certainly not least, I think anyone would be surprised if we got out of this recommended reading section without me recommending John Ostrander's Suicide Squad from beginning to end. That's right, issues number 1 all the way to 66. Hell, you can even read the Blackest Night tie-in, Suicide Squad number 67. And I would also recommend you check out John Ostrander's Suicide Squad Volume 3 number 1 through 8. Honestly, both of these runs of Suicide Squad I feel are where you're going to get the most, and I would even dare say premium amount of Bronze Tiger if that's what you're looking for. That said, Bronze Tiger is a very interesting character to me, if for no other reason than he's a character who started out as a bit of a stereotype, and I would even say a thinly veiled racist one. He was pretty much Black Belt Jones. He was this jive-talking, kung fu fighting black character, and then eventually he just kind of turned into an incredibly angry character. He's a character whose rage basically defined him in an era where most black characters were always depicted as being angry. But I like the fact that over the years, Bronze Tiger has overcome that stereotype and turned himself into something more than that. Albeit, I think it took some time to get there. And an unnecessary amount, if I do say so myself. I don't like where Bronze Tiger began, but I do appreciate a bit more where he wound up and how he was written since his debut. I feel like by the time that you get from his debut in Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter in 1975 to John Ostrander's Suicide Squad, which began in 1987, I feel like John Ostrander was the one who came along and finally figured out how to write this character without making him so much of a stereotype. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely better than what it started. He found a way to ground Bronze Tiger Tiger and make him less of a walking, talking stereotype than he had been written in the past. At this precise moment, there's not really much being done with the character Bronze Tiger, but hopefully sometime soon that will change. But anyways, let me know what you thought about the character Bronze Tiger. Have you always known about him, or are you today years old finding out about him? Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.